Hello and welcome to a fun and informative look at your Flickback year. Flickbacks has assembled for you a variety of some of the finest film footage from your year and crafted some vivid memories of what happened when. News, sports, movies, fashion, people, politics, and the theater. Flickbacks has it all. Join us now for a stroll down memory lane and see a selection of what occurred in your favorite year, 1976. Make yourself comfortable and prepare to recall real events, film, and stories of the good old days.
On July 4th, 1976, after 200 years, the nation took a day off to celebrate its achievements, review its past, and think about its future. The celebration was also a tribute to those first colonists who signed their names to the document. One of the chief designers, John Adams, said of the 4th of July, "It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illumination from one end of this continent to the other, and from this time forward forevermore." Over 1 million people gathered in Washington, D.C., the city which honors George Washington, the first president. Millions more celebrated the day in their homes and communities throughout the nation. They celebrated the event in many large cities throughout the 50 states, in New York, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Detroit. The celebration represented many things, the efforts of the people who make their living in the major industrial centers. The celebration recognized the labors of those who work the farms or live in the small towns scattered over the prairies, the plains, the Midwest, in the South, or the mountains and deserts of the West. For the historic event, they arrived from other countries to help America remember. They heard the speeches echoing the events of the past 200 years. The speeches mentioned the names and achievements which had become part of the heritage of the nation. Henry Ford and the mass-produced Model T automobile. Thomas A. Edison, the light bulb, the first generator, the motion picture camera, the Wright brothers and the first airplane. And the first manned spaceship to land on the moon.
You'll like what you see in the mirror when you slip into this really fun new maxi dress. Yours for $1.95 when you order a summer fill of American brand heating oil. See how easy? A midi dress. Or a mini in a moment. Daring, silvered polyethylene, sizes 6 through 18. Offer ends August 31st. So call Standard Oil Hotline Service soon.
Hey, Mercury Morris, what do you think you're doing?
I'm trying out a new move, Coach. Remember Joe in that New York Life commercial? Joe and his family needed a lot of life insurance protection, and that New York Life team really got it for him. They protected his family and showed him the way to retire in comfort. Hey, if I had protection like that, man, I might make 3,000 yards.
Where the name of the game is life, there's New York Life.
The traditional songs and dances brought by working immigrants of past generations symbolize the toil and labor necessary to provide for and build a great nation. The event also celebrated the opportunities provided to the workers and to the students The youth to learn about the future through attending the numerous schools and colleges throughout the nation, where diversity creates many different opportunities. The event also celebrated the endless possibility for people to set their own goals in life. It was a day for 200 million people to celebrate their nation's birthday and 200 years of living together. After the 4th of July celebration, after the first 200 years, the people went home to begin a third century. Their thoughts then turned to an important national election. The people had to ask themselves, was President Gerald Ford candidate for the Republican Party to continue in office? Or was Jimmy Carter, former governor of the state of Georgia, and candidate for the Democratic Party to be the next president? The vote of the people was to determine their president for the next 4 years, just as their votes had chosen men to lead them in the past. There is a universe to explore and memories to cherish. There are the harvests to bring in. There are the products to create, services to provide, children to raise, and futures to plan for. The tasks and challenges remain in the nation founded by immigrants from all over the world who live by the words of a working declaration written over 200 years ago, with certain unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
You're on, Mr. Gobble.
I'm not coming out unless I get to sing the Service Star theme song.
Okay, guys, roll 'em.
Just look at these great specials from your participating Service Star hardware. A Stanley 32-inch storage bar with 8 hooks, only $247. The McCulloch Mac 110 10-inch chainsaw, low priced at $69.88. And this Hoover upright convertible, just $64.95. And the 5 cleaning tools are yours free.
It's a wrap. Good night, Mr. Gobble.
Here it comes. Today's Dacron from DuPont. Today's Dacron in fabrics that are unnatural for the way you live today. John Meyer of Norwich uses today's Dacron in these sportive separates in an easy care fabric with a natural look and touch that feels wonderful on. Look for this tag. It tells you you're wearing a fabric made with Dacron polyester from DuPont. Look for fashions made with today's Dacron at fine stores near you.
Here's what the people of New Hampshire are saying about President Ford.
President Ford is my kind of a man. He's a man of integrity and a man of courage.
I think that more than anyone, President Ford has been the fellow that put the brakes on inflation.
Well, I think that his way represents a much better way than anybody that's been up here so far. I've listened to the other candidates, both Republican and Democrat, and I feel that he has what's best to offer for our country.
I feel
that the president's decision-making policies have been superb because the president has been planning for the future as opposed to trying to come up with just a short-term solution to the problems that the country has foreseen.
I think he's a truthful president. He's a down-to-earth type of person. And I think he has the best qualifications to stay in the White House.
He's my kind of president.
President Ford is your president. Keep him.
Paid for by the President Ford Committee.
It was not a day anyone would forget. The motorcade down Elm Street in Dallas, Texas. The shot. The tears. The assassin's assassination. To investigate the tragedy of November 22nd, 1963, President Lyndon Johnson appointed Chief Justice Earl Warren to head a commission to study the death of John Kennedy. After 10 months of testimony, the completed document was handed to President Johnson, naming Oswald the lone assassin. But too many questions remained unanswered, and on November 15th, 1976, the Congress reopened the investigation in the hope of finally answering them.
Hey, natural yogurt lovers, I think you deserve to know. If you want to stick with your present natural yogurt, you better not taste Breyer's all-natural strawberry yogurt. Because once you've discovered its creamy, smooth texture, its abundance of strawberries, there's no turning back.
Creamy smooth, full of fruit, and 100% natural. Breyer's. Real yogurt at its best.
I thought you deserved to know.
I've probably been to 437 potluck dinners. Same old salads, same old casseroles. Then I thought of LaChoy Oriental vegetables. LaChoy bean sprouts crisp up a salad, LaChoy chop suey vegetables in my casserole, and LaChoy water chestnuts turn plain green beans into something special. Just think of it.
LaChoy makes Chinese food. Swing American.
Think of it.
When President Ford took office, the institutions of government were under challenge. He began to restore trust in government with an open administration and his own frankness with the American people. He acknowledged that he had not been elected by the ballot and asked for confirmation in our prayers. He reminded us of our strength, that this was a government of laws, not of men. He moved quietly and firmly out of his own abiding faith in our system. He developed a leadership of responsibility, a leadership that did not panic into foolish action, that had the wisdom to wait, that had the courage to say no to the free spenders.
The President of the United States.
The proof of his leadership is in the results. Under President Ford, the partnership of government and the American people has turned the economy around. More and more Americans are working. Inflation has been beaten back. Recovery is underway. Under President Ford, America is firmly committed to a policy of peace through strength. Under President Ford, the lines of communication are kept open to all. The message is loud and clear. Our resolve has not slackened. Our strength is second to none. President Ford's steady, calm leadership has been acknowledged by the American voter. He has been confirmed by primary ballot throughout the nation. However, some who seek the presidency have not fared as well. In losing, they have fallen back on an ill-considered and perilously superficial message. They have made pronouncements about national defense that are both shallow and misinformed. It is false to say that we are second to the Soviets in military strength. The truth is that we are secure in our ability to defend the nation. The sophistication, the superior quality of our weapons makes this so. It is also true that though we are strong, we can never relax our guard. That is why President Ford has advocated the strongest possible defense throughout his lifetime in government. As president, he has consistently fought for the largest defense budgets in history. For the first time in 10 years, President Ford is reversing the trend of Congress and is leading them to a record budget for national defense. Those who would seek the presidency must not confuse political rhetoric with reality. Those who would seek the presidency must be equal to its burdens. They must not use words bristling with impatience or indulge in careless saber-rattling. They must not forget that confrontation between nuclear giants can mean the extermination of mankind.
Americans will not long heed the counsels of fear. Our confidence in ourselves is too deep, rooted in 2 centuries of trial and triumph. Never fear, America and Americans will prevail.
America needs responsible leadership. President Ford has demonstrated a calm judgment to cope with a complex, difficult, and divided world. His steady, reasoned course will meet the challenge of what lies ahead. President Ford is your president. Keep him.
Second call, 404 Hamilton, 417. 195. Alfano, 448.
De Niro. In Bang the Drum Slowly, the critics called him a brilliant new talent. After Mean Streets, they said he was a genius. For his performance in The Godfather Part 2, they gave him the Academy Award.
Come on, man. Just get me out of here, all right?
Now, Robert De Niro creates a terrifying portrait of life on the edge of madness.
Tabby, just forget about this. It's nothing.
Taxi Driver, a film by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, people do anything in front of a taxi driver. I mean, anything. People too cheap to rent a hotel room.
Oh, driver, hurry up, will you?
People want to embarrass you. It's like you're not even there. It's like, you know, like a taxi driver doesn't even exist.
This city here is like an open sewer, you know? It's full of filth and scum.
I think I know what you mean, Travis. But it's not going to be easy.
How do you guys get to be a Secret Service man? What? I was just curious, because I thought maybe I'd make a good one. Hey, what kind of guns do you guys carry? 38s, 45s, 357 Magnums, something bigger, maybe? Hi. I'd like to volunteer.
Why?
Why? Because I think that you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
The taxi driver is looking for a target. Getting ready. Getting organized. Preparing himself for the only moment in his life that will ever mean anything.
How much for everything?
$350 for the Magnum, $250 for the 38, $1.25 for the 25, $150 for the 380.
That taxi driver's been staring at us.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
I don't know who's weirder, you or me.
You talking to me? Then who the hell else are you talking? Talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here.
I don't believe I've ever met anyone quite like you.
Oh, yeah?
You will never see a more chilling performance than this. Robert De Niro in Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver. Jodie Foster, Albert Brooks, Harvey Keitel, Leonard Harris, Peter Boyle, Sybil Shepherd, Taxi Driver.
In 1906, we took this sheep and clipped off his nice, warm fleece. Next came a big bunch of soft, natural cotton. Well, we mixed them up in our big new dual-fold underwear machine, and out came this fantastic two-layer fabric. Cotton skin side for comfort, wool outside for warmth. Natural dual-fold underwear keeps you warm and dry in the cold. What do you think about that?
All right. I know you two never agree, but watch this.
Introducing a dog food in a bag that's tender and chewy. New Kennel Ration Tender Chunks. Whoa! It's a far cry from dry. Ordinary dry dog food is hard and crumbly. But Tender Chunks looks, cuts, and chews like chunks of lean meat. Whoa! Preferred 3-to-1 over the leading dry dog food. New Kennel Ration Tender Chunks. It's a far cry from dry. Wow!
Inspired by Russian folk dances, leading designer Yves Saint Laurent introduced the peasant chic look of 1976. Fashion headlines proclaimed it a revolution in style. The last time there was a so-called revolution in fashions was in 1947, when Saint Laurent's mentor, Christian Dior, introduced the new look. He designed a more feminine silhouette, fuller skirt, longer hem, accented waist, natural shoulders, in contrast to the square shoulder, narrow skirt look of the early 40s. That was the new look of 47. Now it's the peasant revolution of 76. Lenin certainly never dreamed of anything as colorful as this.
It's October 1976, and the New York Yankees and the Cincinnati Reds meet in the opening game of the World Series in Reds country, Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium, and the fans are here to see their Reds play baseball. Morgan put him ahead with a home run. The Yankees quickly tied it, but from the beginning, the Reds were putting the heat on the Yankee defense. Here's the first commercial. Perez, not the fastest runner on the club, tries to steal. Although he's out, he got the message across. Third inning, Dave Concepcion hits one in the gap. Watch him put the heat on the Yankee outfield as he digs for third. And that's the kind of baseball they play in Reds country. Pete Rose brings him home with the sacrifice fly as the Reds move ahead. And they're still moving in the sixth. Ken Griffey bounces a double play ball to short. But watch Rose keep up the attack as he says hello to Willie Randolph in his first World Series. Griffey's on first, and now it's his turn. The race is on. While the heat moves on. Perez singles. But watch Griffey, he can't see, look at his hat. But his legs keep moving. He knows where he's going. He's heading home. Rivers bunts. Good play by Gullett. Gets to force. That's intimidation. Billy Martin flashes his signs to Rivers. He's off. Bench shoots it. Hello there. You stop Rivers from moving and you're stopping the Yankee attack. Play really hurt because a moment later Roy White finds himself on second after an error by Geronimo. Munson is the batter. He lines a shot to right. Watch Griffey charge it. And watch Roy White make a U-turn. Dan Threesen, who has found a new position in his power-packed lineup as a designated hitter, lines one up the alley in left center field. Watch third base coach George Scherger tell him that, hey, two's enough. Stay there. All right, George, I will, says Threesen. George Foster, who led the major leagues in RBIs and is batting sixth in this Red Series lineup, lines a base hit to center field. Brings the fans to their feet, and it brings home Threesen with the first run. Now Johnny Bench steps in. It's been a tough summer, but a hot autumn. But the Reds continue the track meet. Foster takes off. Munson's throw cuts him down, and that's a big out, because the catfish is having his problems getting loose. Bench drills one to the wall for another double. And there's nothing the Reds and those Reds fans love more than to see Johnny Bench return to his hitting form. Catfish is still having his troubles. He walks Geronimo, and now it's Concepcion. He keeps it alive with a nice, polite single. And it scores Bench. Geronimo goes to third. And they're hot in Reds country. World Series veteran Jack Billingham comes in to pitch to a tough hitter, Thurm Munson. Munson hits a ground ball to the right side. That brings Stanley home with the tying run. The Yankees know they need this ball game. After the shaky start, Catfish and his guys really go after it. Catfish is only getting stronger as he comes down to the bottom of the ninth, and the score is still tied. He gets 2 quick outs, and then strike 1 on Ken Griffey. Strike 2, and it looks like extra innings. Stanley makes an off-balance throw, and suddenly everything is rearranged. Take another look. Griffey gets a lot of infield hits because of his great speed, and it's that speed that forces Stanley to make a hurried throw as he chose to go for the out. It was an aggressive choice by Stanley. When you play aggressively, you're going to win some and lose some. And this one is scored a 2-base error. The Yanks decide to walk Morgan intentionally and pitch to one of the game's toughest RBI men, Tony Perez. They say he can drive a run in from the clubhouse. And there it is. Here comes the winning run. 3 straight playoff games, 2 straight series games. Munson tells it all for the Yankees. And a living monument, the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio, is the man to throw out the first ball. Now Mickey Rivers and the packed house at Yankee Stadium are anxious to get something going in the first. Rookie Pat Zachary is the starter. He warns Pete Rose to look for the bunt. Rivers bunts. Zachary makes the play in time, but Rivers jars the ball loose, and this is what the Yankees have been looking for. Something to light the fuse. Whoops! Picked him off. Though it's only 1 out, the big crowd is silent because they came to see Rivers move on a base pass. Moments later, Billy Martin still can't believe what he just saw. He wants to ask umpire Billy Williams about Zachary's pitching motion.
Simple. When he comes stop, one time, another time he just comes and hits and goes right through. He's got to do one or the other. One's a ball.
I want to just say one thing.
Yeah.
This we allow. It is not a balk for us.
Why?
I think it's a... All he has to do
Billy,
is
he's
stop.
deceiving the runner. He's deceiving the runner.
Not deceiving
The hell he isn't. My
Who's
guy,
he deceiving?
My runners, they're going to go on one or the other. They're going to go when he comes to a stop or he breaks halfway.
He's all right.
You mean you're going to allow that?
I'm going to allow it.
You're going to allow the break in his knee, too, when he throws to first base? Is that a balk?
As far as we're concerned,
all right.
No.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Billy loses another one, but it's just the beginning of a tough night for the Yankees. Top of the 5th, Rivers checks his man Rose. He's still there. This time Rivers gets a nice little parachute. Ball lands, doesn't even bend the grass. It's a good start because the Yankees need runs. Munson's a guy who could hit a line drive on Christmas Eve. He hits a line drive, but it's right to Tony Perez. Fires the second. Rivers is out. Rivers is having one of those nights. Double play, the end of a big inning. It wasn't Mickey Rivers' night, and it wasn't starter Doc Ellis' night either. Dan Dreesen hits a high chopper, deflected by Ellis. Safe. There goes the runner. Munson can't find a handle. Foster plugs the gap. And look at Scherger, the busiest man in town. He's even busy when nobody's running. Over Chambliss's head, Randolph makes the play. No, he doesn't. Stanley goes down to one knee, gets one over to first. Safe. Pitch out. They'll get him this time. No, they don't. Concepcion knocks in the 3rd run. He's not even sure what he wants to do. The Yankees finally calm things down with a double play. Randolph staples Concepcion's finger to the ground. Injury is painful, but it's not serious. After the game, Davies said it was a tough way to get a manicure. While Concepcion knows how tough his job can get, Here's a guy who says his job is too easy. Cincinnati's designated hitter, Dan Driessen. He says all you do is sit around and drink coffee while you wait to swing the bat. So he had his coffee, now he swings the bat. And that makes it 4-0 Cincinnati. It's a lead the Yankees never catch, while the Reds, who didn't want to see this designated hitter rule in the series, are content to give Driessen his coffee and every possible chance to swing the bat. While the Yankees defense the Reds running, Bench provided the one element which can't be defense. Pointing the bat, a new theory, timing the pitcher's motion. And there it goes.
You have to hit. You're hitting all the way.
After his toughest summer of injury, pain, and frustration, Johnny Bench comes back in flying red colors to bring his team closer towards a red October sweep. The homer gives the Reds a lead, which they hold into the ninth. It's a close 3-2 ball game. Dick Tidrow is on the mound.
Let's play baseball. Johnny Bench.
Once again, it's Johnny Bench.
Get out, boy. Get out of here. Get out of here. Boys, I got news for you. We're going to be world's champions again, Sugar Bear. I got news for you. We are now going to be world's champions again. Smarter than you. Huh? No, I mean, you know, if our big men don't swing, what do? We die. We die. We're not going to die. We don't play that way. Hey. Dougie, oh, baby, God. Hey, John, Gary, that's the boy. Hey, you big cat, you. That boy. We're world champs, men.
Cincinnati scores one more to make the final score 7-2. And Sparky said it. They're world champions again. 7 straight victories over the Phillies and the Yankees in October. Sparky Anderson said that the Reds did their job on the field, and now it's up to others to consider whether this is one of the greatest teams of all time. They all earned their victory, but no one earned it more than the catcher Johnny Bench.
Play with these guys, and they've done the job all year. And then you're able to do something just, you know, to make up for everything you haven't done all year. It's just, you know, a great inspiration for me.
If you're going to win the big ball games, you need teamwork. Now, our country's energy crisis is no game. But if we all work together, it will work out better for all of us. So let's keep our thermostats at 68 degrees or lower. Let's drive under 50 miles an hour and save electricity where possible. If we all help, we'll really be helping ourselves. Please, don't be foolish.
Rapid Shave takes you inside tennis with Pancho Gonzalez.
And now Rapid Shave and I are going to bring you the forehand volley. You stay down low, and you turn on a short stroke. Keep your eyes down to the level of the ball so you can sight it better. A very short stroke. And here's a tip about Rapid Shave. It has a special soap system to help clean and soften the skin. Rapid Shave wants you to look good out there.
When the names of 2 of the greatest champions ever to play the game of golf are connected with a tournament, one would expect it to be successful. And Jack Nicklaus's first memorial tournament dedicated to the memory of the great Bobby Jones on the Nicklaus Design Muirfield Village course exceeded all expectations. It turned out to be one of the best tournaments of the year. By the middle of the 3rd round, second-year pro Roger Maltby had the lead after shooting steady 1/71s the first 2 days. He birdied the 13th here to go 6 under and open up a 3-stroke lead over veteran Rod Funseth and a 5-shot advantage over Don Bees and Memphis Open winner Gibby Gilbert. Jack Nicklaus knew he had designed a difficult course, but he could not have imagined how difficult it would turn out to be for its designer. On the 158-yard par 3 12th, his 9-iron tee shot hit the bank and rolled back into the water. Hitting 3, the tournament host took an 8-iron and hit it virtually to the same spot, and with the same result. Up to this hole, Nicklaus was 3 under for the day and 1 under for the tournament, and not out of the race by any means. Swirling breezes above the trees at 12 could not be detected from the tee. Again with an 8-iron, Jack finally cleared the hazard. but he still wasn't on the green and was lying 5. Using a putter off the green, Nicklaus couldn't get any closer than 8 feet, but he managed to hold out that putt for his quadruple bogey 7 and a 3-over tournament standing. Hale Irwin had to sink this putt to salvage a bogey at 15, and he left it short. Until this hole, Irwin probably had ideas about being the first Memorial champion. Now he must have been a lot less optimistic about that prospect. Now there were 3 co-leaders with the holes running out, and the tournament host and Jerry McGee only 2 shots back. McGee picked up another stroke by birdieing 14, and he was hole high in 2 at the par 5 15th. He gave himself a good chance to join the leaders at even par with this excellent chip. McGee on top at 15, Bees below at 16. And with those putts, they've switched positions on the leaderboard. McGee moving up to even and Bees dropping to 1 over. The tournament host had his chances in his own tournament, but the course he designed slapped him down each time he made a move. This putt was typical of the way the course treated him. But if he lost out as a competitor, he won, and won big as the creator of a superb golf course and a great tournament. With 3 holes to play, Maltby and McGee had the best chances to win outright or force a playoff. But Don Bees at +1 wasn't out of it. A par and a birdie would bring him back to even. And at 17, a good drive and an even better approach shot to about 12 feet set up a birdie chance. But he would just miss the bird and tap in for his par. Co-leader Jerry McGee found the deep rough with his tee shot on 16. His chip took off on him, running all the way across the green and into the short rough on the other side. That shot cost him a bogey and dropped him out of the lead for good. After his shaky front 9, Maltby settled down, parring all but the 13th. He had this chance to go 1 under at 17, but he didn't give it quite enough. Outwardly impassive, Irwin must have been in almost unbearable suspense as Roger stood over the putt that could win it for him. The tournament wasn't over yet, and the crowd headed for the 15th hole. It was a 3-hole playoff format with the low total score after 3 holes deciding the winner. Even though he was off the green, Roger was almost as close to the hole and had a good lie. His chip was right on line, but a touch too strong, rolling by about 5 feet. He would have a real tester for his birdie try. Irwin's eagle putt required a most delicate touch, and Hale showed that he had it. He had a tap in for birdie, but he could have rolled off the green if he hit it any harder. The pressure was now on Maltby. A miss here wouldn't have ended it, but a 1-stroke deficit would have been a heavy burden in this playoff situation. So they went to the par 3 16th, still tied up. With the first 2 playoff holes halved, 17 could decide the match. But after making such a super approach, Irwin couldn't follow it up by dropping the birdie putt, which would have won the tournament for him. From this hole on, it was sudden death. Irwin pushed his tee shot way off into the right rough just behind one of 2 trees. His lie was all right, but the tree restricted his follow-through and his control of the shot. The ball flew diagonally across the fairway into deep rough on the other side. This was opportunity knocking loud and clear for Maltby. He had played this hole almost perfectly less than an hour before, and his approach in the playoff was almost identical to the one he had hit before. He was about 20 feet away in 2, while his opponent was in deep rough way below the hole in the same number of strokes. Luck and time had run out for Hale Irwin. The best he could do on his 3rd was bludgeon his ball out of the deep grass a few feet forward into a bunker. He was now lying 3 and would have to hole his sand shot to have even a chance to stay alive. No such miracle was in store for the huge Muirfield Gallery. Hale got the ball out, but it flew past the hole by about 12 feet. He was now lying 4. As it turned out, it wouldn't have mattered if Irwin had sunk his trap shot. Maltby proceeded to make the putt he should have made the first time he played the hole today. He did not overstroke it. So the inaugural Memorial Tournament was now in the history books. A fitting tribute to Bobby Jones, the legendary Galford honored. It was a truly memorable event. Jack Nicklaus's first memorial would be remembered for many things. The weather, the crowds, the sensational golf, the thrilling finish, and a $2 iron steak.
Room. Room to be comfortable. Now you can find it in a new kind of small American car. Volare. Volare has a special suspension that gives you a smooth, comfortable ride, like a big car. And yet, Volare is not expensive. Volare. Plymouth Volare, a new small car with the accent on comfort.
Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They really say, I love you.
He was poor and uneducated, but Louis Armstrong grew up to become our great goodwill ambassador, charming the world with the special genius of his music. He was idolized everywhere because he transcended politics and language with a uniquely American expression of joy, love, and celebration called jazz. The spirit of achievement is the spirit of America. This message was brought to you by Exxon in commemoration of the American bicentennial.
The first 100 acres are the thirstiest, so Pepsi people take along plenty of ice-cold help. When the crop's all in, and so are the harvesters, ice-cold Pepsi keeps the food and the smiles moving around the table. Then get spirits up for a hoedown.
Join the Pepsi people, feeling free. All across the nation, it's the Pepsi generation, feeling free.
It is 1976. The American merchant vessel Petrox Explorer has just set sail from the port of Surabaya in search of oil. What they find will shock the world.
We may be sailing into the history books.
She's alive!
You know, maybe my luck has changed.
They will discover an uncharted island that is the home of the most incredible creature on the face of the earth. A creature called Khan. Dino De Laurentiis presents the most exciting, original motion picture event of all time. King Kong. King Kong, a fantastic adventure. Open the gate! King Kong. King Kong, unlike anything you've ever experienced before. With Jeff Bridges, Charles Grodin, and introducing Jessica Lange as the beauty who charmed the beast. And starring the eighth wonder of the world, King Kong.